I know this is gonna hurt somebody's feelings, but to me, it's funny. That's all it is. To me, it's just funny to watch such a legacy have such opposite of what it actually is. Of course, we are talking about the PlayStation 1 Classic. This article just came out talking about it is now $40. Still not even 3 months, it's technically two. And this thing has fallen into a disaster zone. Okay, if Trump wanted to call an emergency, he probably should call one on the PlayStation Classic and how it's not selling at all and how nobody wants this thing, even though there's a shit ton of PlayStation fans. There's a shit ton of people who were alive and who were there to witness the launch of PlayStation and to enjoy that generation. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Sony has made damn sure this generation, PlayStation 4 generation, they chastised, bastardized, whatever you want to call it, they completely destroyed their own legacy. While we can remember fondly one or two games here and there from that generation, it is very clear and is very apparent PlayStation just does not give a fuck. This was something that was supposed to be an easy, quick, cash grab, get a couple dollars in, simplistic thing, right? And they went and pretty much guaranteed they weren't going to make any money off of this. I'm almost certain within the end of this month we will see Sony say we're not making any more. I mean, it's already 60% off the retail value of $100. Okay? It's not even 3 months. This thing has dropped down to dangerously low prices. People are still not buying it. I can still walk into any GameStop and see about 5 or 6. I can walk into any Target, any Walmart, and still find at least 5 or 6 of these things. They're not selling. And chances are there's a shit ton more in the back room when you go to like a Walmart or you go to a Target or a Best Buy. Because they're not moving. And I know people don't like me talking about Sony in such a negative light. They don't like to hear me say shit like this. But this is the type of shit that should worry you. For a company to take its legacy, its very own legacy that people love, for a company to take that and do pretty much disrespect from beginning to launch of a product. To see that, to witness it, to know that after only being on the market for a full 2 months and a couple of weeks and a couple of days, this thing has gone through hell. This thing did not deserve this treatment, Sony. This thing should have been an easy cash grab for you. You know how many people were excited when you announced the damn thing? Fuck the 5 games. Just the announcement alone was like the gaming community was pretty much in a roar. They wanted this. They've been asking for it for years, since the Nintendo plug and play mini. They've been asking for a PlayStation Classic because people love that generation. People still play that generation of games. You just completely fucked it. Completely. You completely fucked it, and there was no getting it back at all. And I can tell you right now, Sony, I want you to listen to me and listen to me good. Because I know, Sony, I know you are not the smartest company when it comes to making a decision that affects money. Obviously, you're not. You've made the dumbest fucking decisions when it comes to money. And you're still fucking flat broke. Sony, let's just be completely honest here. You're still completely not black. You're completely flat broke. I don't know why I wanted to put the F on broke. I really have no idea why that is. But let's focus on what's really going on. PlayStation, not every single PlayStation 4 subscriber has a subscription to PlayStation Plus. Not every PlayStation owner has a subscription to PlayStation Now or PlayStation View, which is why you don't really ever talk about these things. You don't talk about stuff that isn't selling. But one thing that we can't ignore is the minis. We can't. I mean, if it was something that came out directly after the original Nintendo Mini, okay. But You waited until there were two very successful plug and play mini consoles. Okay, both the SNES and NES consoles are very successful. The regular NES is more successful than the SNES because they actually brought back. They brought it back. They said, we're done with this. And the outcry from Nintendo fans and the gaming community alike was so much, Nintendo brought it back. I don't think anybody's asking PlayStation for a PS2 one after the first one. Nobody's going, Sony, release a PS2 mini. Nobody. Because nobody can trust you. I would have loved to have seen a PlayStation 2 because that was what I was really excited for. I was like, dude, if they release a PS1 one and it does really good, we might get a PS2 classic. And considering how much gold, how much content that was well received, how many groundbreaking titles were on the PS2, Sony, if you touch it, you will not survive. Okay? You will not. It's game over. If you touch PlayStation 2 and you release a PlayStation 2 classic in the same condition as the PS1, close your doors. Just close them. Fire everybody that day. Close your doors and say, fuck it, we quit. Just do it because you have no business in gaming anymore if that's what you do. Hell, I don't think you have business in gaming to begin with. Obviously, if the only thing selling is the PS4, but it can't hold the money because Sony's too damn dumb to get rid of all the fucking other bullshit that isn't selling, so they're not making any money. What the fuck are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, we have fans. Yeah, you have fans who you pissed off this entire generation by acting like your legacy isn't a big deal. I've never seen Nintendo do that. Nintendo might be hard-headed, but at the same time, I don't see the Nintendo Mini or the SNES Mini being in such a bad shape that if you buy it, you have to mod it. The games on both of those consoles are solid. You might not agree with every one of them, but that's only one or two. The ones on the PlayStation Classic, hell, you can disagree with all of them. All 20 of them. You can disagree with all of them, and there's a large amount of people out there who would not disagree with you. Hell, there's people out there who don't like 90% of the content. So if they buy it, guess what? They have to mod it so they can play the games they want, or they'll just pull their PlayStation, original PlayStation or PlayStation 1 PSONE out of the closet, dust it off, and play those games. Which is a hell of a lot easier. And I've said this plenty of times. I know somebody out there was like, there's value. No, there's not. The system itself is $5. $5 for the system. Did they put Tales of Destiny on it? Because I know for a fact that game is valued pretty high. It's also pretty hard to find. Did they put the ROM to Tales of Destiny on there? No. Did they put any game that's hard to find from the PS1 on the PS1 Classic? No. Shit, Nintendo did. Nintendo put Earthbound on the SNES Classic. Earthbound. A game that without the box and the manual runs $200. PlayStation, name me one fucking title you put on your fucking PS1 Classic that's worth even $50. Go for it. Twisted Metal, no. That game goes for about $15, and that's if you get the PS2 game. Cold Waters, I'm pretty sure you could throw 50 cents at and have you a good copy. Because it's a sports game. They never hold their value. I mean, I love 1080 on the N64, but I can honestly tell you that game's worth about $2. In fact, I want to make this abundantly clear as well. Do you understand the outcry for a Nintendo 64 Mini only exists in the way that it does because how bad the PS1 bombed? Are you fully aware of that? Yes, everybody's like, we want a Nintendo 64 Classic because Nintendo, and we want the GameCube Classic. No, that's not the case. Okay, everybody likes to dream about their favorite Nintendo console being a mini. Mine is, unfortunately, the SNES, and it already exists. But I wasn't going PS2 mini. I wasn't going Dreamcast mini. I wasn't saying mini for everything. In fact, I'm not even saying mini for the Dreamcast, even though I love the Dreamcast. Okay, because one, Sega, and two, Sega. Okay. I don't believe they would have the right games. I mean, there's plenty of good Dreamcast games. I just don't see Sega taking the initiative, especially with how many Sega Master clones there are. I just don't see that working out. And I don't blame anyone else who says the same thing because of how bad At Games has been with it. But that shows you how little Sega cares about their own legacy as well. The fact they keep going to At Games and At Games continues to fuck it up. So just remember that. Sega and Sony have both fucked up these mini consoles. Nintendo is the only one to actually do anything worth a damn that's even worth noting when it comes to the mini consoles. The thing is now 60% off, and that's if you get it without the plug-in. If you get it with the charger, with the plug-in to the wall, if you get that wall piece, it's now 50% off because it's $50. You're going to pay $10 for that little fucking brick that you plug in the wall. Yeah, it doesn't come with one, so... The system itself is $60, not $60, but 60% off. But if you want the actual thing to work, it's 50% off. So with that being said, the moment they announce that they are no longer making these things because they're just not moving, I'll have another one up. Until then, God, I hope they don't release tomorrow. Please don't release a statement saying PlayStation Classic is now $20 fucking dollars. Please don't do that. I'm tired of seeing this in my news. But it is news, and it's major news that in the gaming community as a whole is a thing due to the success of the original NES and Super NES mini consoles. So that's why I continue to talk about it. And that's why I bring up all this other stuff as well, because unless it's an actual PS4, guess what, Sony? It just ain't cutting it.